Global climate change is a topic that has been discussed a lot recently. You may know what it is, but how is it affecting you? Let's take a closer look at a region in North Dakota called Devil's Lake. Devil's Lake isn't your typical lake. Since 1993, the communities surrounding it have experienced extreme lake flooding. The state of North Dakota has built dikes and pumping stations and has raised the roads in an effort to contain the flooding. Still, this flooding has caused people to lose their homes and farmers to lose their land.
One of the things that struck me the most about this whole thing is one of my landlords. He's 79 years old. He put money away when he was farming, had his land paid for. When the stock market crashed here, if you want to call it a crash, he lost some of that cushion, and now if the lake comes up another 6 to 12 inches, he's going to lose all his land, and he's going to have lost everything he put away for his retirement.
But what does the future hold for the people who live in this area? Scientists have been working with computer models which project what may happen in the next 100 years. Because we don't know how we will modify our impact on the Earth's systems, the leading climate scientists have created scenarios. These scenarios represent different choices the world can make. We use 3 of these scenarios to take a look at what might happen to the climate in the Devil's Lake region. In the A1B scenario, there is rapid economic growth and extensive cultural interactions worldwide. There is a balanced emphasis on both fossil fuels and non-fossil fuel energy sources. In the A2 scenario, the world is more divided. Economic development is regionally oriented and technological changes are slower. In the B1 scenario, the world is more ecologically friendly. It has the same rapid economic growth as A1B, but it is centered on service and information. There is also an introduction of clean and resource-efficient technologies. Using these scenarios and a global circulation model and Panoply, both of which were developed at NASA, we were able to convert past weather information and future projections into images. The 3 scenarios project slightly different outcomes, but all of them show an increase in temperature. They also all show an increase in precipitation. So in the news, when you hear people mention uncertainty with regards to climate change, it doesn't mean scientists aren't sure whether climate change is happening. The uncertainty lies in the differences between the scenarios, models, and projections. Taking into account the increase in temperature and precipitation, we were able to model the possible expansion of Devil's Lake if all mitigation efforts ceased. Using this 3D map of Devil's Lake watershed, constructed from satellite images, we can see how the lake has grown through the years and may continue to rise to its maximum flood projection of 1,458 feet. Joe Belford, the Ramsey County Commissioner, has been dealing with the problem of Devil's Lake both professionally and personally since the flooding began.
We're dealing with a rising lake. It's the only one really like it in the United States, and we call it water torture because it moves so slowly. As you can see, the houses we're standing in front of, the water's gradually creeping up on the homes. People have to move out and relocate, and so it's a very slow-moving, dangerous catastrophe that's happening to the area. It's not like a river flood where it goes through, wipes everything out, and 3 days or 5 days or 10 days later, it's just the pieces that are left, where we constantly are struggling to stay ahead of it.
So why is this lake so different? Devil's Lake is a terminal lake, which means that it has no natural outlet. The lake only receives water through precipitation and surface runoff, and only loses water through evaporation. This causes it to be sensitive to changes in the climate. The weather patterns in the mid-latitudes have storm traps that are caused by the interactions of warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico and cold, dry air from the Arctic. As the world warms due to emission of large amounts of greenhouse gases, the character of the storm tracks are projected to change, moving northward. This will likely bring more precipitation to the area and lead to the expansion of the lake. And while it is important to understand the scientific view, we always have to be reminded that people's lives are being affected.
We had to burn 9 homes in '97 because we couldn't get them out. This one will have to be burned. And I watched mothers and wives stand in front of their homes crying, the kids crying. I mean, it gets you right here. So I just hope that it comes to an end soon so we can get back enjoying our community, enjoying our friends, and getting life back to normal.